Y'all like that beat?
Yeah, but that could be a tough situation. Well, when it happens in basketball, everybody's like, "Oh no."
I can jump on the. I'm not allowed. Well, last night.
What's up, and welcome to another edition of the Man Experience. I am Desmond Mosby. As always, we welcome you to another episode. We're kind of few in numbers today, but hold on, I just got a message from my bro. Oh, snap. My bro Fernando messaging me. Let me message him back right quick. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I know that y'all will be remiss and y'all will miss Fernando's beautiful face. So I want to make sure that he can hop on and join us for today's episode, because I think today's episode is going to be very, very interesting. It was my question, my topic today, and I'm not going to lie to y'all, brothers, I cheated. I asked my wife, what could I ask? What could the question for today be? And she was the one that gave me today's topic, which is about peer pressure. And as adults, what forms of peer pressure have we experienced? Have we been peer pressured as adults to do certain things? And if we have, we're going to dive into what that looks like. And if you are watching us, we would certainly love for you to chime in the comments, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, whatever the case may be. Chime in and share with us anytime that you've been peer pressured as an adult. We like to see what's going on and kind of get an idea of what people have been peer pressured in their lives. So please feel free to take this opportunity. We definitely love and appreciate any participation that we get. My wife is probably watching, so she'll probably chime in. But y'all are going to be interested to see what I have to say, because I feel like all of my brothers approach this question the same way, and I probably approached it differently. But we'll see. First off, let's always get into what we always like to start, our weekend review. It's been a while since you all saw us. As a matter of fact, I think how long has it been since we did our last episode? Anybody know?
2 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
Yeah, I want about 3 weeks. So we haven't been on for about 3 weeks, and we have certainly missed you all. But a lot has happened since that time, and here comes my brother Fernando joining us. We love you, bro. But a lot has happened since that time. Ron DeSantis has announced that he is challenging Donald Trump for the Republican primary. But in addition to that, the NAACP has also put out a travel ban on the state of Florida because of some stuff that's going on down there. So anybody want to chime in? I know Blake said that he had something that he wanted to mention about the Ron DeSantis situation. So Blake, feel free to lead us into what, I mean, how you feeling? How you feeling, bro? Ron DeSantis running for president against Donald Trump in the Republican primary.
Neither one of them are any good. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because just what he's doing in Florida and what I'm hearing from people that I know in Florida, it's not good. Like this.
Yeah, man, I had planned to go to Disney World this year. I'm glad my.
So what's going on in Florida? What's going on?
Well, if you read the NAACP, I don't know specifics, but if you read the NAACP travel ban, like obviously they feel like there's hostility between people of color. Haven't they basically came out and said about race theory, critical race theory? Haven't they come out and said that they're not going to be like siding with that, like they're opposed to that? They
He,
kind
he,
of
he removed all what is it? Diversity and inclusion, I think is what it's called. Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
sounds like somebody here.
The mind needs to mute his camera.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying sound like somebody here. I was saying sounds like somebody here as far as our city council goes, might have some Ron DeSantis qualities. Unfortunately. So yeah, man, it's looking kind of crazy out there. And you know, there's no doubt in my mind, and there shouldn't be any doubt in anybody's mind that one of these fools could get elected, right? Like that, like especially if people don't show up and show out. I would never want to say, oh, it's not going to happen, because we said that a couple of years ago, and look what happened.
I think a couple of years ago was more so how unlikable Hillary Clinton is. As much as people don't want to admit it, being able to have charisma and to relate to people is a big thing. And
oh, absolutely,
she didn't have that.
Absolutely, I would always argue that, but I would always also argue that voting has kind of gotten to a point where people don't do it. And so we saw that in the last city council election. One of the reasons why our city council election, one of the reasons why the majority won was because people just didn't go out. And if we don't encourage people to certainly get up and go out and vote, there certainly is a chance that one of those fools could get elected. I mean, I don't ever want it to be that there's any doubt in anybody's mind that nothing like that can't happen. Like so people need to get up, go out, vote. I encourage you.
I think part of it too last time was people were kind of just sick of politicians in general, right? And Trump offered a breath of fresh air to people. That, and I don't mean just to the right, a lot of independents, right? Like, we're just sick of career politicians. And I understand why I wouldn't have done it, but I do understand why people did vote for him the last time. But I don't think any of those independents, they gave him a chance, and I don't think any of those would vote for him again.
Oh no,
at least a few friends that I have talked to. I have a ton of Republican friends. Some of them that would vote for Trump again, and more so some that would not. That doesn't mean they're not voting Republican again if it's DeSantis, but just saying that I think a lot of people have seen what he has to offer, and it's not much. I promise I won't drone on. I said this one last thing is I've said this before. If your politics are based off of what you take away from other people instead of what you bring to the nation, then you shouldn't be in politics.
Oh no, I would always wholeheartedly agree with that.
And to me, DeSantis is the definition of you shouldn't be in politics, because your whole political stance is on what you can take away from another group.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
But again, to your point, you mentioned you have some friends currently that are still going to vote for Trump, or at least have indicated that they would. So, I mean, that just lets it be known that, there are still those persons out there, and we just have to be vigilant. Like we have to be vigilant, and we have to do our part to get out and obviously recognize that if there's a particular candidate that we like, that we got to get them elected.
So I have a friend, and I use him as an example, and I know it's anecdotal, but he's a staunch Republican. He believes in most conservative values, and he voted for Obama. Like he wanted to change, right? And that's what he offered. And that he also he didn't vote in the most recent election, but he did vote for Trump in the Hillary election. And again, because it offered change. In my personal opinion, I think I've said this on the show before, I don't think Biden should be running again. Anyways,
put it like this.
I'm going to drone on. So for real, I got to shut up.
Put it like this. If Biden runs again and Trump is their pick, Trump is going to win. Possibly.
It's always a possibility.
Possibly.
That's scary.
It is scary.
The one thing I would say about Trump, I try to look positive and negative. I think his foreign policy was spot on. I think his domestic policy was an absolute travesty. Maybe one of the worst domestic policy presidents we've ever had.
And we can literally go on and on about Trump and DeSantis. I know Blake has strong feelings about both of them. He always makes it clear and evident that he does. Anybody know where that feedback coming? Is that me?
Test.
I don't know. Now you stopped talking and went away. Hello?
Hey, mute everybody, Desmond, and then unmute one at a time.
I think it's Blake. Because now I'm talking. And it's nothing.
All right, let me check mine. It's me.
It's Nando.
I knew this might happen. I think I know what's wrong. I'll be right back.
All right, bro.
No, it wasn't him. He's still here.
Yeah, I still hear it.
It's not me, bro. It can't be me. Mom.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Sir. It ain't me.
Talk.
I think it's you too, Blake. Jamal, go ahead and mute. We're sorry for the technical difficulties.
It might be actually you, bro.
It's not me because I heard it when I was muted. Talk.
Hello. It's not me.
I heard
Okay.
I heard it on both of y'all.
How was it like that when you talk though, Dad?
I hear it on Fernando too.
I heard
Again,
it
still.
as well. So who is it? I said it was your mom.
It might be all of us, to be honest with you.
All right,
Is it the StreamYard?
It's very possible it could be.
All right, disconnect somebody. I already disconnected. We'll disconnect one at a time and figure it
All
out.
right, I'll disconnect now. I'll disconnect.
If I disconnect, it's gonna stop the episode.
Test.
Test.
1,
Can y'all
2.
hear it now?
No, I don't hear it right now.
I bet you it was Blake.
It was Blake.
Yeah, I mean,
it now.
I mean, it's not.
Sounds
It's gone.
Sound is normal now. So.
Hey,
Audience,
are the
would you
weakest
agree
link.
that it was Blake? While he up
was
there
the
arguing,
weakest link.
saying it wasn't him?
He was the weakest link. I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, he got voted off the island just now.
He is the weakest link.
He is the weakest link. Blake, if you watch it come back on, it was you.
Hey, tell him to turn off the air fryer.
It was for those of you that don't know, Blake sometimes has got the air fryer on. Blake, it was you. We all stayed on, and you went out, and we didn't hear it anymore.
How you saying it was me? For real?
Because we all stayed on and didn't hear it anymore. Like we all stayed on and carried on the whole conversation. Process of elimination means it's you. Like it don't take no rocket scientist.
But all right, but
do you hear it now?
When you spoke, I heard feedback, so I'm confused.
But do you hear it now? Exactly. That's exactly because it was you. Look, you got off the StreamYard. We had a whole conversation for about 5 minutes. It won't that long, but I'm gonna say it was 5 minutes in which we talked and nothing came on. So
wow,
it was you, but I'm not gonna argue with you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is live. The live stuff happens. We understand. We appreciate it. We're not gonna charge it to Blake's heart or his head. We're just gonna charge it to the fact that he got some cheap equipment that he talking on right now. We love you, my brother. We love you, my brother. But back to what we were talking about. We can certainly go on about Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump forever and ever. Who y'all think that? I mean, obviously, Biden will probably look to run again. Is there anybody on the Democratic side that you all think could run?
Anybody?
Oh man, I
Well, you know, eventually Newsom is going to run from California. I'm sure that's inevitability.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom, governor of California.
Yeah.
I think that eventually, what's his name from Texas will run again. I can't remember his name.
Is that it's not Beto, is it?
Yeah. I think he'll at least primary. I think they'll both primary. I think Newsom might actually have a chance. I don't know that Beto will. O'Rourke. It will get.
O'Rourke
will make it out of the primaries. I think.
That sounds like a presidential name too.
You know, honestly, there's not a lot of like standouts. I don't think on either side right now.
Nah.
Pelosi isn't likable.
She's not gonna run.
No, Schumer.
I don't even think she.
No, I don't think she'll run either. We could have an episode going through the list of senators, and we'll save that for another time and see. Maybe we could come up with our own future list and check back on it in 4 years and see.
I would love to do that. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Go ahead.
I don't remember if we talked about this, but Blake mentioned the junior House of Representatives from the
Santos
Republican side. Santos, yeah. If you saw, he's been arrested or is under investigation.
I did see that. And it's all interesting. Blake did a whole spiel on him at one point, talking about him. So Blake, how you feel about it? About time.
I just feel like with him, it's more so, as I said before, he got cocky with, he with all his lies, and so it seemed to me like he just thought he was just gonna run, do his job, and regardless of what is being said about him, he was still just gonna be there. And so that's the part that irritated me.
Kind of like Mr. Untouchable. I'm just Mr. Untouchable.
Yeah, he's like brazen in your face.
Yeah. Since I'm a politician, I can get away with anything. I have diplomatic immunity in my own. I'll keep lying.
That honestly might be kind of true for senators when you get to that level, but a lot of times House of Representatives, I think he overthought his value.
Yeah.
I mean, especially being the junior. I mean, this was what? First term, right?
Yeah. He was newly elected, essentially.
Newly elected.
January, I think.
Like get some years under your belt, then come out with the lies.
The thing about that is that he came into the position
with lies.
With some shit.
Yeah.
With some shit coming with him.
Already.
So it's like you got the job, and like I said, already rumors going on about you, and you like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's whatever, you know. It's
Can't
all
touch me. Yeah,
untouchable, as you said.
he had the MC Hammer song playing with the pants. He probably, when he got elected, he probably had the Hammer pants on, dancing in the living room. Can't touch this. I could see it.
That's
Can't
what I
touch
feel
this.
like. I feel like that's what he thought. For real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have y'all already talked about not to switch topics, but the playoffs, NBA playoffs? Have you
No,
already
I
talked
was just
that?
about to move into that. NBA playoffs have gone on since the last time we actually were on an episode. My Lakers beat the Warriors.
Yep.
So I got to say that.
It was
I got
a
to
very,
throw that out there. I'm
very
going to throw that out.
decisive Game 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But then the Lakers went on and were swept by the Nuggets.
I think that was surprising. I think everybody thought the Nuggets would win. I don't think everybody thought they would. I don't think anybody thought the Lakers would get swept.
I thought the Lakers would get at least one.
Yeah.
Maybe two.
The way y'all played us games 1 through 5, I thought you would lose to the Nuggets.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think you would get swept.
Yeah.
I thought y'all actually had a chance to maybe even take 2 from them.
Not swept, but yeah. So at this point, the Heat are they're tied.
Yeah.
That's
3-3
crazy.
in a series where the Miami Heat were up 3-0.
Yep.
It has
never been done before.
never
So
been
they
done
can
before.
make
The Boston
history.
Celtics have come back, tied the series at 3 apiece. One game remains for the NBA championship. And here's the thing. Last game is in Boston. I, for one, Fish called it. Fish said Boston was going.
Yeah.
And I'm a believer in Boston right now. Like, come down 3 games, come back, win 3 straight.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you argue?
I don't know that.
Tatum is on fire right now.
Go ahead, Nando. What were you gonna say?
I don't know that they'll beat the Nuggets, though.
They might not beat the Nuggets, but they definitely gonna take this series. Definitely gonna take this series, and I almost don't want them to beat the Nuggets because what would the championship look like at that point for the Lakers and the Celtics? I don't want them to get another one. I don't want them to get another one. So
you're taking it back real old school, huh?
Yeah,
80s,
man, that's
early
right.
80s.
That's rivalry, bro. Like, I don't want them to have another one. Like, I'll be fine with Denver getting it. Like, because they beat us, they ended up beating us, they out of the Western Conference, all that kind of good stuff.
Right, and then you can say you lost to the champions, right?
We lost to the champions, and this will be their first.
Yeah.
And the other piece is somebody who recently just retired. Another player that I enjoyed watching, just retired, was drafted by the Nuggets. So shout out Carmelo Anthony, boy could ball, man. That boy could ball, and not only that, man. Shout out Lala Anthony. But that's that's neither here nor there. Last thing I will say in regards to weekend review is we lost the beautiful, lovely Tina Turner. The talented, the gracious, wonderful singer, Tina Turner. We lost her. And it was crazy to me for 2 reasons. What was crazy was the fact that I was going around seeing everybody post about Tina Turner, and I said in my head, most of these people that's posting about Tina Turner probably think Angela Bassett is Tina Turner. So I was like, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop doing my girl like that. But the other piece was Tina Turner ended up dying on Patti LaBelle's birthday. And imagine that in the back of my head, all I could think about was Patti LaBelle, the diva that she is, probably sitting up in her house talking about, I can't even have a day to myself. Like, so
I didn't know that she lived in Switzerland, though.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I think she's been overseas for quite some time now. Like,
yeah,
didn't she? I don't know that she renounced it, but I think she lost her citizenship, didn't she, to the U.S. because she's been over there for so long.
It may have been. I don't think she renounced it neither, but you might be right. But yeah, she's been over there for quite some time.
I think like 30, maybe not 30 years, but a long time.
Living overseas, yeah. So I mean, man, it's crazy, man. So many people we done lost.
me and my brothers, gotta keep in mind it was the '80s, so we used to watch these at a young age. We watched Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I don't know if y'all have seen that, and we were like maybe 7 years old, 6 years old, watching that, right? And we used to always have our Thunderdome. We had three. There's three of us, and one thing I'll never forget is two men enter, one man leaves, right? And that was Tina Turner's line from Mad Max. So, um, I knew her well before I knew her music from that one line, and definitely a legend in music for sure. But for me, it sticks out a lot that part of my childhood is something I remember to this day.
And I think for people my age, obviously the Angela Bassett role
Mhm.
was iconic, and so a lot of people watched that movie and probably familiarized themselves with Tina Turner because of Angela Bassett. Like, I mean, I think growing up, my mom may have played some of the songs, but it wasn't until maybe that particular movie that I watched that obviously I had like a fascination with Tina Turner. Oh, let's go. Oh man, what was I doing? Like, what the world? Like, who what? So I mean, and as I recall, Jamon actually back in the day we did a performance where we performed like old time 60s music at one of the centers here in Lynchburg. And Jamon actually performed as Ike Turner with one of the ladies. She was Tina, and it was hilarious. If we ever get an opportunity to see that video, I need all five of us. If we're gonna go to Fernando's house for this fight, Jamon need to find that video so that we can watch this video of him performing as Ike Turner and his lady performing as Tina Turner. All right, but I want to get into today's episode because I feel like the fellas got a lot that they got to say, or at least have some interesting things that they want to talk about. So today's episode. Oh, go ahead, bro.
Can
I'm
I say
sorry.
one more thing? I won't take long. I just want to say the internet remains undisputed with all the Morant memes that came out. I had a good laugh while that was going on.
How do you feel about that? I feel like everybody has the same reaction. I just like to hear from different people.
So for me, when you're at that level, it's in your contract. That's all I can say. It's in your contract. Outside of that, I wouldn't care. But the NBA policy is what it is, and it's very clear. Just like Ben Roethlisberger when he was riding motorcycles and crashed, it was in his contract. He shouldn't have been on that motorcycle.
I agree with my
And
brother.
same situation with him. He got fined by the team. I don't think he was suspended. He may have been, but he was in the hospital, I think, with a broken leg or something,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. So,
yeah,
outside of that, I wouldn't care. But, teams got a reason for that stuff.
yeah,
Y'all remember Plexico Burris shot himself in the leg.
in the thigh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The
You
bottom
know,
line is the team has a policy, as Fernando stated, and that policy not only protects the individual, because I mean it protects him, but it also protects the team as a whole, right? So
it's no different from me if my job had a policy about me posting on Facebook about
absolutely,
whatever it might be.
absolutely. And so and you got to understand that nowadays these organizations are free to jump on Facebook and look at your Facebook and make determinations based on social media. His other problem with which that I'm upset about is the fact that nobody in his circle even called him out on it. Like the friend is the one that's on Instagram as if to say, you know what, I don't even care that you make millions. I don't care about none of that. At the end of the day, I'm down and I'm gonna bring you down with me almost. I had a talk with some students today in which I talked about the importance of because of this, the importance of choosing the circle that you surround yourself with, how that's important, and how sometimes you might have to let go of those people because they're not to your benefit. Right? Like I consider all three of y'all, all four of y'all, Fish included, I consider all four of y'all to be my brothers, right? Like, and I feel that way because I feel as though as if I was doing something stupid, each one of you would call me out on it, right? Like, and the respect and love that I have for you all, I might get mad, right? Like I might get upset about that. But I feel like at the end of the day, each one of you wants to see me excel, just like I want to see each one of you excel. And so we're always going to call each other out. You know, there have been times where I've talked to each and every one of you on a personal level and said, look, I'm willing to do whatever it is you need me to do. And then I know that I know for a fact one incident I messaged one of y'all and I basically messaged you back to basically say I probably shouldn't have said what I said. I want to clear that up and make sure that you understand that, you know, I want what's best. I want to do what's best. I don't want any of us to get in trouble because I mean, this man's a millionaire. This man's got millions. He's made it. Like you've made it. And so at that time, as your friend, like I should be celebrating you and not doing anything, or at least keeping you out of trouble.
Yeah.
Because by association, I'm good.
Yep. And, you know, we all have friends that, or we used to. I'm older now, but we all have friends that we knew were bad. I don't want to say bad characters, but just didn't always have the best interests at heart, right? They were a little wild, and they were fun to hang out with, but you don't put them as your core group of friends because you know you can't go to them for advice. And you certainly, once you get to a certain level in life, you have to cut them off.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I have no problem doing that whatsoever. Yeah. You know, and I tell and I'm gonna tell you something that I tell people, and Jamon will tell you because he was there today in that discussion that I had. I tell people all the time now, especially young people, I say I have basically a core group of fellas that I do a podcast with on a bi-weekly basis. And I say at this point, I consider them my closest friends. Y'all might not think the same about me, but I consider y'all my closest friends. I could come to y'all for anything, and y'all will maybe look at me and give me your perspective, and it might be different from my perspective. But you all have my best interest at heart. You're not telling me anything out of malice. You're not telling me anything to destroy me, set me up. You're not telling me anything because you want me to fail. Each one of you is telling me something because you want to see me succeed, because you care about me. And that's the same from my heart. I feel the same way about each of you. I'm never going to tell you anything or say anything or do anything that I feel like is gonna put you in a bad situation or put you in a bad light or jeopardize anything that you have going on. Number one, because we all too old for that right now, right? Like that's number one. And number two, you know, the goal is to be successful and to surround yourself with people that will encourage that. So that's how I feel. Ja, you messed up, your friends messed up, and at the end of the day, you got to suffer the consequences for the mess up.
What about you, Blake? What do you feel on it?
On Ja?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more so looking at the friend because if I'm with somebody, say for instance it's Dez, he's on that status, I'm not gonna be recording anything,
right,
and doing anything like that can be reposted, screenshotted, you know, nothing like that.
And it's not like nobody was not going to see it. This is Ja Morant. Right. He's a famous basketball player. He's in the playoffs. He done already made several comments that have got people watching him. I'm good in the West. He said that, right? Like, so it's not like people aren't watching, right? Like, I don't get I don't get it. I don't get it. So, I mean,
he's in, you know, he's young. He's probably possibly a Hall of Fame career potential, and if he doesn't start surrounding himself with better people, it might come down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, me personally, I think I've said it before on this show. I love when they have attitudes like that, like, because if you don't think it, you can't be it. And so, you know, for him to have a cocky attitude, I kind of love that in sports. I think you need that to be great.
And the dude can back it up.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like I love it, but I love it even more when you can back it up. Like when you talk that talk, and then you go out on the court, or you go in the ring, or you go on the field, or whatever the case may be, and you can back it up. I appreciate it even more. And the boy can ball his heart out. Like the boy is talented. But again, as Nando said, like you get to a certain point, you have to start analyzing and evaluating your friendships and saying, is this person truly for me? Like, and if they not, man, you got to have that hard conversation where it's like, yeah, like we can't keep doing this. Like LeBron ain't get what he got from risky friends. Like I mean, let's just be honest. Like I shared with you all that video the other day. Was it you all? Or was it in the group with me, you, and Tanisha Blake? I shared a video where like the fellas he grew up with, obviously he has in his inner circle right now, but each one of them has looked like they've changed their mentality to reflect the LeBron brand. Like,
Yeah,
and either you do that or you get gone.
I don't think you shared that in our group, but I did see a picture of like before and then now, and you're right. Yeah, you're right. Like you can tell that they're doing everything they can to make sure that they don't reflect poorly on him, or at least up until this point haven't made him make any poor decisions, other than the conference to go to Miami. They should have spoke to him about that one.
But no. So, I mean, that's a good opinion. And I don't know if Jamon has one because he's been off camera this entire time. Jamon, you have an opinion about Ja Morant?
That's a hot take right there.
It sure enough is. It's crazy because I hear my wife in the background watching this episode. So I hope she definitely chimes in. But let's move on to our question for the day. I've titled this episode "Applying Peer Pressure." I always love trying to find witty sayings and stuff like that. And for this particular one, you know, I always hear the girls say, "I'm applying pressure." And so I was like, yo, this would be a good title for this particular topic. And so today's question, or at least today's discussion, is centered around, let's discuss a time that you were peer pressured in your adult years. So this should be interesting. As I stated before, my three brothers probably looked at this differently than I did. So we'll see the approach that each person took. I want to start with Jamon, if he's there and can hear me. Jamon. Jamon ain't there. Jamon ain't there. All right, so I'm gonna toss it up, and I'm not gonna call on either one of you. You'll go. All right, so Blake, come on, man. Discuss a time that you were peer pressured in your adult years.
All right. I really just thought about this very quickly, so don't judge me. Mine is very basic. Peer pressured into going to lunches and certain things with coworkers. Like, I don't want to chill with y'all like that for real. And so I've been called out like in front of the whole office. This one coworker was like, "Yeah, are you gonna come with us? You never go to lunch with us." Yeah, I'm not trying to.
Has there been any that you've gone to though?
No.
I don't. Hope none of your coworkers are watching.
No.
Well, honestly, maybe they should watch it. Maybe offer some clarity, right?
Well, yeah, Nando's got a point.
It's not that I'm trying to be funny. I just don't, engage in stuff like that. That's just me, So it doesn't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish. No. I cut you off.
I was just going. Doesn't mean that I don't like the coworkers. It's not that. I just.
Go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It just means that I may not want to engage in those activities socially with you. doesn't mean I don't like you. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
And I wouldn't say you weird. I don't think that's weird.
Honestly, I don't think that's weird.
I don't think that's weird at all.
And honestly, the person, like, if they're calling you out in front of everybody, you wouldn't do that with like someone who's like, oh, I don't. They're like, hey, you want to drink? No, I don't drink. Like at a party, right? And be like, oh, you don't drink. What if they're a recovering alcoholic? It could be a number of things, right? So for them to do that in front of like everybody else, to me, it seems like really poor form first.
No, I've
right?
actually had that happen to me though, where somebody's actually said that to me. You don't drink. So,
yeah. You know, it, and like you said, it may you just don't want to do that. Like it's something you don't engage in, and they should be respectful. Or if they have a question about it, they should pull you aside, like, hey, let's have a quick talk,
1-on-1. Like if I have a problem with it, okay, what is your real issue?
Help me understand.
Yeah, help me understand why you don't go. And then if it's like I just don't do things like that, got you. Okay,
yeah, easy enough.
Yeah, no more. Don't even gotta ask you no more.
We're supposed to all be adults, especially in the workforce.
Yeah,
I know a lot of industries. It's like a new high school for some people, and so they don't act like adults.
And so, and at that point, you could always say, even after having that conversation, well, know that if ever there's a time that you want to come and join us,
yeah, that's exactly it. And you leave it at that.
And leave it at that.
The invite's open. I'll stop asking you if you want to come. Say, hey, where are y'all going for lunch?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would never say that was weird whatsoever. That's not weird at all. The only reason I laughed was because I know you, and and you made mention of the fact that it's not that I don't like coworkers. Let's be real. Some of them you really don't like.
It's gonna be any job, right?
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I don't like mine either. A lot of them. But I get it. I get it. Do you ever feel since they do that? Do you ever feel guilty for not going? Is there ever a time that you feel bad for not going, or whatever the case may be, since they do? Oh, okay. Hey, and so with that being said, shoot, I ain't mad at you at all, whatsoever. I would do that. And so I also had the problem where, so I never really got asked to go a lot, but I was always asked, we're having a potluck. Come and join us. And so it was always, well, look, we got the food out there. You want something? So I get it from that perspective.
I'll be honest, man. There's a lot of times when I worked at a like bigger companies and they did potlucks, like I would always feel bad not eating. So I would just take a little bit of everything and then just push it around my plate, like pretend I was eating it. Like that way I don't get harassed. Like, oh, what look, there's what's that?
No. You know what my first question always would be? All right, where the chicken come from?
Yeah.
Well, we got it from Kroger. We got it from this place. All right, I definitely can have a piece of chicken then. Because that was purchased.
Yeah. Look, I feel blessed when people trust me and they eat the food. I made cinnamon rolls last night for a good friend of mine, and I feel blessed when they trust me to eat my food. Yeah. But that's built on a relationship of trust, right? Like I've known him now for 15 years. No, maybe not 13 years. And it's not like I've been working. I see him just on a work, right? And I'm forced to interact with this person. I know what his house looks like. He knows what my house looks like, right? And I
don't know that about every coworker.
There's a reason why eating is a sense of community, and
yes,
and that's just not, to me, that's just not something I do with just anybody.
Yes, and there's also a reason why I leave work after a certain time. Why I get off at a certain time. So now I don't have to deal with you all anymore. See you. So I feel you. I appreciate that, Blake. I appreciate that. Do you ever think there's will be a chance that you do go out
with coworkers?
Yeah. With any that you're working with right now, or maybe even in the
future? Maybe that's not a good question to answer on stream.
It might not be. I think he's going to answer though. Look, he is. Nope.
I put it to you like this. I work in the human services field, and so what that often means is that I work with, I would say, older women who are most likely married. So we ain't gonna be going out to happy hour.
Yeah, not necessarily a good look. I got you.
They telling their husbands, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Bar Louie with my coworker Blake." Who the fuck is Blake?
Right.
Is what I say. So I'm not even married, and I know that's the conversation. Let's be real. So yeah.
All right. So Jamon, I need you to discuss the time that you were peer pressured in your adult years.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize. I'm at rehearsal right now, and you've got all these people that like running around here. Like somebody's coming right now, so let me go take off this camera. They want to know what we're doing, what I'm doing. So hold on. But
You said they want to know what you're doing. Are they asking that question because you need to
no,
be rehearsing, or
no.
they
I'm in the
curious?
middle of rehearsing right now, and they keep calling me up like, yeah, sure, go. And I'm like, yes. So that's when I put myself on mute. But then different people of the cast will come and stick their head
Excuse me.
behind, like this person right now. Woo, booty cheeks. See? Yeah, see? So then I got to do that because there's a bunch of people that's, doing that. But other than that, I think my personal opinion is that do you guys remember when the edibles came out?
Edibles like weed.
Yeah, like because that could be a host of
You
things.
The
You gotta be
edibles
specific.
weed.
the CBD, the CBD,
I'm listening.
Okay.
the CBD edibles.
Well, like, that got everybody's ears and attention. Like I was looking at my phone and kind of looked up when you said that. So yeah.
Yeah. So everybody knows that I'm a non-drinker. I mean, I'll dab in some wine here and there, but other than that, I won't just go out and just get a drink or anything like that. Just and I have been peer pressured before that. Hey, it's just a drink, just one drink. No, I'm good. I'm good. I might have a glass of wine. That's about it. But this edible thing started where I was like, no, I'm not. No, I don't. I mean, I know what makes you feel good. It's not. It's not gonna mess with your high blood pressure or anything like that. I said, I know that's probably true, but I'm on so much medication right now that I don't even want to take that chance. And I just sometimes feel like it's the norm to at least try it once. But then I'm like, well, hold on. I'm 50-something years old. I'm gonna be all right.
So this was recent.
But last year.
Jamon,
Huh?
when did you get offered the edibles? Who offered you edibles?
Is this person? Is this
He said
person
the
in
doctor.
Is this person in Richmond?
Wait. It was a who?
It's this guy in Richmond.
Oh. He don't look. If you don't want to answer that, he don't have to answer that because I don't want to put that person out there.
What you want some Blake or what?
But Blake
asking who my dealer is almost.
Blake said, "Was it the doctor?"
Don't put me on. I wasn't trying to put nobody on blast, man. I just asked who.
I think he was just curious as to who this person was.
It was a friend of mine. It was a friend of mine. It was a friend of mine, and I said he was a good friend of mine. But apparently he dabbles in that a lot. So it's like
Did you try it?
No.
Okay.
I just want to see the effects.
So with that, in respect to that, after you didn't try it, this person didn't like. They stopped.
Yeah, they didn't ask me anymore.
Okay.
They understood.
Okay.
Because they understood where I was coming from. I mean, but I say that because that was the most recent. But it happens more with drinking. It's like somebody like what do you want to drink? Nah, I'm good. Oh, come on, just a little bit of this. Nah, I'm good. And that's it. It seems more now. That's the uh, you know required thing of being in the social popularity these days. You have to be able to drink something and like it. So
Well, so this makes sense now. That's why you wouldn't drink during the drinking game at this.
I
what's that
mean,
now?
he said it makes sense, but
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
yeah, it makes sense.
I guess my question is, like, have you had instances? You just mentioned that it happens more so with drinking, and you did mention that there have been times when a person has kind of tried to push it on you. Have you had a moment where somebody just tried to push it on you so much that you ended up doing something?
Oh yeah,
Um,
I had somebody buy me and this was years ago, buy me a Black Russian on a cruise ship.
and that was because they kept bugging you.
No, but that's because she bought it for me, right? And just put it right there in front of me and said, "This is for you. I think you're an awesome guy. So I want to buy you a drink." Now, me being a young Haskins, I didn't want to say, "Well, I don't drink." I want to be the cool macho man and be like,
You should have done
"Thank
like
you."
Fernando and then took that straw and just started stirring it in.
Well, I said thank you, and I just held my breath and downed it. It was a shot, so I just,
oh.
I held my breath, and I just took it, and needless to say, I was happy after that. But it was all good.
Was she and I know I'm asking you a lot of questions, so I'm
No,
sorry.
go for it. Do your
Was
thing.
was was she attractive? Was she
She
somebody that
wasn't.
you were
She wasn't ugly, or she wasn't like the most beautiful person in the world. She was just somebody that,
but
you
somebody that
know.
you were trying to impress?
No, not really. I was just did not want to not
Got you.
impress her by, like, she
Got
bought
you.
me a drink, and I didn't want to be like, no, I'm good.
No, that
Because
makes
I
sense.
mean,
That makes
it was
sense.
it was a Black Russian, and she just put it right in front of me. It's like,
No,
this
that
is
makes
for
sense.
you.
I mean,
I
to
think you're
be
cool and
fair,
whatnot.
the number of times women buy men drinks is very few,
This is
right?
true. This is true. So I guess you take advantage of it when you can.
Right. And, I wanted to make sure, I just wanted to do what I had to do. I didn't have to do it, but I just wanted to do, just to,
I
number
mean,
one, just,
not to go too deep, but technically you could say that's societal pressure, right? Like, oh, I gotta man up and do this, right? Because that's what's
Yeah,
right,
expected of
man.
right.
me.
And see, and that was my first drink too, ever. So
Got you.
I didn't know how that was going to affect me,
Yeah,
or anything like that. So
So in
I
the
was,
back of you, I mean, a lot of things probably crossed your mind at that point. Like
yeah, like,
if I just
what's going to
down this
happen?
one shot,
But then
what
I was looking
harm?
at, right. But then I was like,
No, I got
back
you.
then, back then I was 270. So I said, I down this drink, I'm gonna be all right, But then I'm like, well, what if I don't? What if something hit me wrong? And then I just regurgitate all over this floor and everything right in front of her. There's a bunch of stuff went through my mind, but luckily, it was cool. And as I said, now everybody really knows my stance on drinking. I mean, if you want to drink, have fun. I just don't like the people that drink and then they get messy and you know, they just can't control themselves and all this. As I said, I drink. I'll drink like a little glass of wine. I really want to try a margarita. I've never tried that before. So just something different. But I'm not gonna sit there and just drink for the heck of drinking. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'll drink water if I have to do all that. So,
I feel you. Somebody needs
which
to
is
peer pressure me into drinking water.
who?
I said somebody needs to peer pressure me into drinking water.
It's the healthiest drink out there.
Uh, yeah.
Hey, look, if you can't drink water, get some of them little packets.
Now I'm
Like
gonna
the
get that. What is it? Circle. What is that thing? Y'all seen that thing?
I ain't seen
Everybody
that.
swear by it now. It's that thing with the filter.
Oh,
I might get one of those for myself.
and what does it do? Add flavor, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
you buy the filters, and it adds flavor, and you can kind of turn up the intensity of the flavor. So like you could turn it all the way down where it's just water, right? The flavor
Uh,
is water. But then you could turn it all the way up where anywhere in between and be cool.
have y'all
But yeah,
tried the hint? Have y'all tried the hint water before?
look, this is not an episode on water. This is an episode
I'm
on
sorry.
peer
I'm sorry.
pressure.
I'm gonna tell you, the hint water does not work. There ain't no hint of nothing. It's a hint of air, really.
Listen. With that being said, with you coming on here talking
Nasty,
about hint water, I better
nasty.
get some proceeds for marketing residuals or something like that. Talking about some hint water. Um, Nando, you up next, my brother.
So I mentioned this before, and honestly, it's the only thing I can really think of because I'm pretty good about just saying
All right, I'm
no.
coming up.
There was I'll give you two examples, but the one that always sticks out to me is when I got married the first time.
Ah,
I felt a lot of pressure from uh, my ex, my now ex. We had been dating for a number of years, 4 years, which it's a decent amount of time. Um, I honestly didn't see marriage, but you know, being the young, I think I was like 24, 23. Um, like I guess this is just what people do. I didn't have a lot of people in my life at the time that I could go to for advice. Um, and I just felt I was like, I guess this is what I'm supposed to do.
and that, as you stated in the last episode, or maybe not the last episode, but one
I
of
think
our
it was maybe,
episodes. Was it
yeah,
the last one?
I think it was maybe two
Two
It
episodes
was
episodes
a
ago.
ago.
couple episodes
Um,
ago.
it didn't necessarily work out the way that you thought it would have.
Right, and honestly, if I would have just been upfront about it, we should have just split ways at that point, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't something I wanted to pursue, something that she wanted to pursue. We were both young enough, so instead, like we got married, and I think we were only married for like a year before we separated. You
Were there
know,
were there people around you? Because I know you mentioned in that episode that most of the friends at that time that kind of you
yeah,
were hanging out with were more so her friends.
right.
Were
That's
there
exactly right.
were they themselves also married? Or
No, none of them were married.
wow.
Um, I think I don't want to say. I just felt like I couldn't talk to them about that, right? Like this
Yeah,
was a point in my life where I wasn't really sure on being able to open up to people in general, um, and that coupled with the fact that they're essentially her friends that
yeah.
became my friends,
They're always gonna side with her.
right? And not only that, like I didn't know where I wanted that relationship to go. I knew I didn't want to get married, but I did it anyways, right? And I feel like the whole lead up to it, like they were all the friends were like so happy about it that we were getting married and excited and all this stuff. And so I think it just felt like the right thing to do.
Wow.
Um, and well, funny enough, like um, maybe 3 months before we got married, I met some friends who are, I think I've mentioned them on this podcast before. Sean and Derek, I consider them family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I met them basically 3 months before I got married, and like they helped me. They don't know it, but they helped me realize like how I got to pursue basically the separation to divorce.
Hopefully they're watching
They
right
they
now.
know it now. I
They
know I
know it
know that
now.
they do watch occasionally, or more so they listen on the podcast version when we have that one. Um,
That's
and
what's up.
so they'll know it now. But it was almost like they helped me, like because they were friends that I could go to, like we talked about earlier, having people you can go through that will tell you the truth, not just tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And they were that.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
Because sometimes that truth will hurt, but we need to hear it.
yeah
Right. Like, and so like it's always good to have friends that are there, that are gonna tell you like it is,
yep
because we need to hear
absolutely.
it. I need to hear it a lot more so than I don't.
Yeah. Uh, you don't like to hear from me sometimes.
I well, I
You
don't like to I don't like to hear it from you because you normally not practicing what you preaching.
that except that one time in
Like you'll
over
get on me for something that 2 weeks ago I had to talk to you about. Like you'll be like, Des, but man, you gotta accept that for what it is. And I'll be like, hey, shut up. Like 2 weeks ago, I was having the same conversation with you. But no, I am appreciative because at the end of the day, sometimes what will happen is I'll get off the phone or whatever the case may be, and I'll think about that, right? Like I'll think about it. I'll think like, okay, well, I shouldn't have went about it that way. I shouldn't have approached it that way. But at the end of the day, I know my brothers, all my brothers are looking out, as I stated before, for my best interest. So regardless of if the fact that I had this conversation with him last week and he was on the opposite end, like I need to be able to listen to what it is that he's telling me. Because I was saying the exact same thing last week. So iron sharpens iron. And we encourage each other and we uplift each other, but we also call each other out on our stuff. That's what we do. That's what we're supposed to do, at least, you know. So I appreciate y'all. But Nando, that I mean, and that's a serious situation, Nando, to be peer pressured into.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's taking, okay, this is a person that now you're like, I'm committing to for the rest of my life. Like, and that impacts so many things, right? Like economics. Yeah. I mean, everything at that point. So, man, like my wife wanted that to be my answer. When I asked her about my answer, I was like, what should I say? I don't feel like I've necessarily been peer pressured into anything. But it's because I was thinking of peer pressure in the negative light. I was thinking of peer pressure in this negative connotation that it had to be something that maybe I didn't necessarily want to do. And that I shouldn't do. One of those pieces. But when I thought more about it, I thought about the concept of this show, right? Like, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, something that I've been peer pressured into doing in my adult years is this show. I tell the story all the time that I had the conversation about this show with my wife, and she's probably out there in the living room right now, like, you took the cheap way out, Desmond. I can't believe you dirty. But for real, this show in two forms, because she was the one that told me to start this, and it's been phenomenal, right? Like, it's not only brought us together collectively as friends and brothers, but it's also been an opportunity for us to share with other persons. It's also been an opportunity for us to share with each other when we're going through something. And as Fernando has always said, you know, we kind of utilize this space to kind of bounce ideas off of each other. So I was peer pressured into starting this show, but I've also been peer pressured by y'all to continue this show, right? Like, to continue this opportunity. And so I count that as one of my peer pressured adult activities. But I would also say that, you know, I was peer pressured into going back to get my master's. My wife, and I would say that I shared this with you all, and you all were kind of like on the same degree, like, yeah, man, if that's something that you want to do, go for it. So, like, I feel like those instances, I was thinking of it from a negative connotation where I started to say, hey, peer pressure doesn't necessarily have to be this negative thing. It could be something positive. And because of the positive peer pressures that I've been faced with, like, look at where I'm at right now, right? Like, we have this fun thing we do. You know, I was able to meet Fernando. You know, I was able to bring Fernando and have Fernando meet Blake and meet Jamon and meet Fish. And now we have conversations where we talk about, you know, meeting up at each other's houses. We had an opportunity to go to a Lakers game, something that I would have never, ever done.
And saw history happen. NBA history.
And NBA history happened. You know, we chilled at Blake's house. You know, Nando is now talking about inviting us over to come see the Bud Crawford, Errol Spence fight. And so we have to look at it from the perspective that being peer pressured is not always a negative connotation. It's not always something that's negative or something that you don't want to do. Sometimes it's something that you must do. Sometimes it's something that somebody sees within you and is trying to encourage you and uplift you and bring you up. So I want y'all to, and I just lost a viewer because they're probably thinking to themselves, oh no, I can't believe he went the cheap way out. Yes, I did, because I want to highlight something positive that's been going on, because I think all too often we all are going through a lot of stuff, right? Like, I've talked to each one of you on a personal level, and each one of us is going through a lot right now. And so, anytime that I can to try to encourage or uplift or provide something sort of positive, I'm going to. And this was my opportunity. This show, I've been peer pressured to start. I've been peer pressured to keep, but I appreciate that. Like, I really do. Like, I appreciate the positive peer pressure that has been placed on me by you all, my wife, and those around me who care about me and want to see me excel. Because it's needed. Because sometimes I will get in my head that I can't do, or I don't want to do, or I shouldn't do, or I won't do, or whatever the case may be. And sometimes it requires all of you to come together to say, nah, you should, you can, you will, you have. And so I appreciate y'all. I appreciate my lovely wife. She hasn't come in the comment section. She might have been the one that dropped off. Because I don't hear it in the living room right now. But that's mine. That's mine. And if y'all want me to, this next episode that we have, if y'all want me to come up with something better, I will. And I'll make sure that I talk about it the first thing on the next episode. But I had to highlight that.
No, I think honestly, I think that's great. Like, peer pressure it doesn't always have to be negative. You're right. We always think of it with, like you said, in a negative connotation, but sometimes we're, for lack of a better word, dragging ass on stuff we should do. And so to have, peer pressure to get our ass in gear and get it done, right? Like, there's that old saying, like, some are born to greatness and some of them have greatness thrust upon them. And so sometimes we need our friends to thrust that on us, to give us that push.
I appreciate my brother Fernando. My brother Blake keep backing out of the camera like, I can't believe this fool went this route. Yeah, I did, Blake.
So I think it's a good way to, like, I would have never thought of it, peer pressure in that sense, until just now, until you said it. So it's a great point that we don't always think about. Two sides of the same coin.
Two sides of the same coin. We gotta look at it sometimes like the same way we look at stress, right? Like, there's positive, there's negative, and so take the good with the bad. So you've heard some of the bad that has happened with some people, and I just want to offer that other side of the coin, that peer pressure can be good, and in that sense, I want to be that person today. I'm not gonna be that person every time. I'm not gonna be the one to talk about the good every time. So today I will. All right. So anything else need to be said? Done. Echo.
I think the only thing I would say is, I think you need peer pressure situations to find out how you're going to react.
Ooh, I like that. It kind of helps mold you as an individual.
Yeah. If you're never tested, you'll never know.
Yeah, you're right about that. So Blake, you've been doing a good job by saying no and standing your ground to the people that want to come in.
100%.
That want to come and take you out. One time you might need to say yeah though, because you might come across a tenderoni that wanna buy you a drink, like like Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal, you got anything you want to say? I knew he wasn't going to. Blake, anything?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right. Well, as always, we will see you all in about 2 weeks. We're looking at, what is that date? Anybody know? Off the top of their head, June.
I'm gonna say June 9th.
June 11th. So yeah, that weekend. So June 11th will be our next episode. We hope that you join us. We hope that you learn something today. And we hope that you take something with you that maybe you didn't have before you came into this session with us. Fellas, I want y'all to say bye to the people.
Y'all have a good one.
We love y'all. And as always, this has been the Man Experience. Come with us and experience, man, as only we know how to share with you. We will see y'all next time. Jamon is probably going to still be on here at the end of everything because he doesn't know that we're counseling off right now. So y'all, please, we'll talk to him. But we will see y'all next time. We thank y'all. We love y'all. We appreciate you joining us. Peace.